Hey guys, Indiana Smith here. Well, school has started and I am back to work, and my river expeditions are going to be fewer and further between. Besides which, we haven't had any rain in a month. It has been over 100 degrees almost every day for 30 days straight, and the river is bone dry and picked over. So, what I'm going to do in this episode is show you some other neat stuff that I've collected through the years. Not Native American things, but just some really cool things that I've had the chance to own. And so I'm going to share those with you in this video. I actually have such a pile, this may wind up making two videos, but this is just some of my other cool stuff. So stay tuned and check it out. So this is an original page from an early edition of the King James Bible. This page was printed somewhere between 1611 and 1630. Pull in real close, and you can see just how much the print of the English language has changed over the years. This is a passage from Chronicles, where Naaman, the captain of the Syrian guard, is healed of leprosy. That's just a really cool piece of an early Bible that I was able to purchase a number of years ago at the Museum of the Bible in Dallas, or what was it, the Biblical Arts Center, I think it was called. But yeah, that is a 400-year-old piece of paper. Now, this is a replica, a cast of the very first ever Folsom Point, found at the type site in New Mexico between the ribs of a bison antiquus. Got this for Christmas a couple of years ago, with a little write-up on the Folsom site and its significance. I think that's a very cool piece. One of the things that really sparked my early interest in history was my fascination with the flying aces of World War I. And for those of you who know a little history, Captain Eddie Rickenbacker was America's top-scoring ace with 26 air-to-air kills. This biography was given to me by a member of my dad's church over 40 years ago, back in the 80s. This is Captain Eddie Rickenbacker's autobiography, published in 1967, but what makes this copy exceptionally cool is that it is autographed in the back by Captain Eddie Rickenbacker himself. That's pretty amazing. I'd always hoped when I was young that I'd get to meet a World War I flying ace these days. I interviewed numerous World War I veterans back in the 1990s. Never actually met someone who flew in the war. I met an aircraft mechanic, and I met someone who was friends with one of the aces. But having Captain Eddie's autograph, that's pretty special. There's also some promotional material here that actually came out with the book, along with a newspaper clipping from the National Observer on the day that the biography was released, including a World War I photograph of Captain Eddie. So that's just kind of a neat, and that was included with the book when it was given to me. Just really cool stuff. It's from a period in history long gone now, but the first thing that really sparked my interest in studying history was my fascination with the aces of the Great War. Also love antique books. This is a history of the Republican Party that was published in 1884. It was to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Republican Party. So this is a 140-year-old book almost. This one is called The Bible and the 19th Century. And it was published in 1889 by Chautauqua Press. I love thinking of who must have handled and read all of these through the years and how old they actually are. That's all I have up here in my classroom at the school that I'm going to share with you. I've got a bunch more things at home, and I will share those with you when I get home this evening. So continuing with some of the cool ancient stuff that I've picked up the last few years. I picked this up at a show this summer. Here's a couple of shots of it out of the case so you can see it better. Osiris figurine from Egypt. I've always wanted an Egyptian piece for my collection. Finally got to pick this up this summer. Traded some Roman artifacts for it. Really cool little piece. I am very proud to have that one. And of course, you guys may remember this from the temple show a couple of years ago. That is a bronze Roman swan, either a votive cup or a candle holder, but that dates to the 1st or 2nd century. Swan had a real prominent place in Roman mythology, and that's just an exquisite piece. And here's another piece that was my Father's Day present this year. It doesn't look like much, but this tiny scrap of fabric right here is a piece of the first airplane that ever flew. That is wing fabric from the 1903 Wright Flyer, 120 years old, flown at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. That was too cool a piece of history to resist me ordering it, even if I did pay a ridiculous amount of sum for a tiny little square of cloth. Now, this is one of the first Old War pieces I ever bought. I've had it for about 10 or 12 years now, but this is an oil flask that was excavated in Israel many, many years ago. You can see it's been broken and glued there at the neck. Still has a lot of original ground patina on it, but this would have held oil for an oil lamp, and also bought an oil lamp to go with it. So this again was dug in Israel. Bought it from a retired archaeologist at the temple show. Gosh, probably about 2012 or thereabouts. But in the Bible, when it talks about giving you oil for your lamp, that's what they meant. The wick would have gone here, oil would have poured in here, and this would have provided light to a room, a little bit brighter than a candle, but not much. But very, very proud to have that in my collection. So anyway, that's just a few of the ancient things I own. I think I've got enough more bits of old junk to do another episode, but I thought you would enjoy these since I'm not able to get to the river right now. So thanks for tuning in. And as a little bonus before we sign off, here's kind of a quick peek at my relic room. That's 2 walls. I have 2 more.